The only thing that happens, and which is a big part nowadays, is if you take your current existence too serious. There's never been a time where you seemingly could spend so much of your time being in comfort, also based on what nowadays we have available. Learn more about yourself. This is where it starts. This world is filled with so much choice, meanwhile, that it's difficult in a way to take a decision. I do think that in this world, there have always been different streams, different forces. One of them leading to the betterment of humanity, one of them leading to the destruction of humanity. And I do think that there are types of wisdom and knowledge existing out there that very easily, without any additional help for anything else, can be very useful for the people nowadays. Yeah, you don't need to go anywhere. The only thing you need to do is take a moment, contemplate about yourself, go into yourself and find the answers there, and then decide for yourself which part and what type of contribution would you like to give to the world that you're living in. I ultimately think this is what I'm doing. This world is filled with so much choice, meanwhile, that it's difficult in a way to take a decision which direction to go, what is right to do, what is not right to do. But ultimately, it's only yourself who knows the answer, which means it comes to the essential point: learn more about yourself. This is where it starts. Because if you have the wrong perspective of who you are, what you are, everything else in this lifetime you base your decisions on is just not going to be placed in the right direction. So being perfectly honest, I usually do not very much rely on what the people tell me, what they think, what problem they have. It's just that I look and I can see already what I think you need. And foremost, one of these, and it's very simple, non-religious, nothing about believing, it simply is the fact you don't use your body as it is intended to be. Very simple. Many people sit too much during the day. The body is not active at all. A lot of work, a lot of energy investment is done with the mind. Less energy investment is done really with the body. And that simply means, for me, I can see there's a disbalance. Whoever created us, he did not create us to sit with our butt on one place and do thinking work the whole time. I do think a part of why we have been created is to get out on the field and just do something out there. Unbalanced energies that can translate into anxiety, that can translate into dissatisfaction, that can translate into continuously searching and never being satisfied. And the most common thing, not realizing how precious the moments are that you have. And instead of replacing them with illusions and dreams and assumptions, which are just not real, meaning everybody is not even Buddhist, it's not Shaolin, it is common understanding. We don't know if we wake up tomorrow. It is like this. Yeah, but our plans go. We have 5 years plans, 10 years plans. We have short-term, mid-term plans. Yeah, the truth is, we don't know if we wake up tomorrow. So, of course, I don't want to make it sound negative. So just live in the present moment without planning. This is not what I'm saying. But this is the challenge nowadays. How do you balance out vision with reality? Real, the only thing real right now is this. That's real for us. I can feel it, you can hear it, you can sense it. This is real. So absolutely, there is the field of becoming conscious. Consciousness is a big field. Then we have science. This is another very, very big field. So some say, okay, is it that consciousness creates matter, or is it the other way around? Which one is the fundamental basis? what is the basis of our interaction? So the truth is, the fact right now is, regardless of science, no science, how our evolution developed, right now, we are here. Your body, my body, we are here. This is what we are having right now. At the same time, in the way of how this lifestyle at the moment is, we won't have more than 50 more years to go in that body. So very simple, without believing, without any religious aspect, once again, the truth is, the lifetime of what you carry right now and what I carry right now, it's limited. And now just imagine you would be, let's say, the director of your own movie. Jump out of the body and watch yourself right now. You are sitting like with Shi Heng Yi, we sit on the same table and you are writing your story. How do you want to write the story? You want to afterwards, after this podcast, you want to like feel uncomfortable, feel unsafe, feel unloved, feel like being just unsatisfied with the whole life, cry or anything like this? Or how do you imagine what is a really nice way of living for you the next 50 years? So, and based on that, purpose can be different. You say, I do like the travel, I do like to invest this lifetime in this body to have the feeling at least that I can contribute something to all the fellow brothers and sisters that are around there. It makes me like, I wake up, I like to do it, it gives me purpose. So it is something very, very personal. And which also means that in a way, speaking in these terms right now, I do not believe that every human being has the same purpose when it comes to this type of purpose. But now there's another type of purpose, which is more or less, personally for me, why do I think that in the first place we have been put with all these possibilities? And positively said, I do think it is a blessing being able to just experience. It's a blessing that we have been granted the possibility of simply experiencing what this existence is capable of creating, including everything, including the joy, including the happiness, including the tears, including the heartbreaks, all of this, without the separation, whether you prefer one area or not. Sometimes the one goes with the other. But the purpose, in a way, is just be and experience. The only thing that happens, and which is a big part nowadays, is if you take your current existence too serious. If you completely base your identity, your being on what you think you are. But like I said, it's just a picture right now, yes? But just sometimes make it very simple. Jump out of yourself and be the director. Be the director of this avatar. And then it just opens another perspective. Because in that moment, you just realize it's like a movie. Not everything is always positive, but in the moment where there are times of struggle, still not being caught inside your own identity, illusion of the self, different expressions for that. It's a very helpful way of thinking. Let's put it like this. I can't right now tell you why, but let's start with some very, very obvious observations that we have. I mean, while we are having this talk right now, I mean, on some parts of the world, you know, the media is like broadcasting it all over. We have wars going on, we have missiles and bombs falling down. But interestingly also, and this is maybe where many people at the moment feel something is just about to shift, or there is a shift going on. And just by looking, what is this type of shift? I mean, we see, for example, let's just take it, Dubai. What was it known for? What type of people go there? What was your view upon going into such a country? If you have your financial means, there is nothing that you cannot get in Dubai, right? But right now in these circumstances, the last thing you're thinking about is spending your money in any type of luxury, let's put it like this. And why is that? Because very clearly, this life right now is showing you that there's one essential point missing. And if that is not there, it really doesn't matter anymore what you are aiming at, which is safety. The current situation, whatever it is just displaying to you very clearly, once safety is gone, you have way other problems and things to deal with than figuring out where to spend your money in. And so it comes ultimately also to this point of safety. What is it that makes you feel safe? What takes your safety away? And already being with this term of safety, know thyself. Meaning, who is it ultimately that either misses the safety or that feels the safety? And to make it like really quick, and then we can afterwards talk about it long time. Identifying yourself with this, walking through this lifetime, you'll always be afraid of losing this one. That's the starting point. There's never been a time where you seemingly could spend so much of your time being in comfort, also based on what nowadays we have available. Nevertheless, how it looks on the inside when we right now make this separation of how does it look on the outside, how do people feel on the inside. Apparently, the approach of giving you more comfort, more technology, more possibilities on the outside doesn't seem to fill up something that internally more and more feels like getting either lost, or all of these outside things don't even fill up that lack, that longing that apparently, if you're sensitive at some point, realize there is more important things for me to have this feeling of thriving and living and feeling actually full, feeling grateful about walking on this earth. So, number one is the approach that maybe a lot of people nowadays are looking at, the approach of building financial wealth, or in general, that there's always something more to reach. I mean, it's been going on like this since forever, almost. But at the same time, it doesn't seem to get better. And then on the other side, we have more and more of the modern age spiritualities coming. We have more and more people apparently tracing back to the ancient teachings that there must be something hidden, that there is already the answer. And, well, maybe, yes. And this is where this whole idea comes from, that you won't find the answer outside of yourself. And continuously start running, searching for something in the hope that it's gonna bring you the fulfillment that you are eventually wanting to feel it. Apparently this approach right now is not working. And therefore I appreciate very much also the possibility of these podcasts like yours, where just different perspectives are being shown. And especially also throughout all the different guests that you're having. So the bottom line is also to make it clear. There is a nice image which is on the top of the mountain. There you're gonna get the clarity. But there is not one way to get there. In a way, this idea of there is something to climb, yeah, but there is not one path that moves up there. Therefore, which teacher is right? Which tradition is right? The one that at some point maybe resonates with you, and that you also start walking from beginning until end. So maybe I have to jump a little bit back into the past in order to build a little bit this framework. This framework, why do I think it's important? If somebody would see this podcast like right now and looks at me. So I do assume there is a lot of projection, okay? He's Asian dressed, he has a shaved head. Yeah, he talks about all this spirituality and about knowing yourself. So apparently he has never worked outside in the world with the normal problems that we all have. That's why he can be somewhere at his temple or hide inside the mountains or in the forest in order to reflect upon life. Well, that is a projection.